soldiers of the press. The Soldiers of the Press present the 10 biggest news stories of 1944, selected by editors of United Press. One, Allies invade France. 2, Roosevelt elected to 4th term. 3, General MacArthur returns to the Philippines. 4, Allies sweep through France. 5, Red Army smashes into Baltic and Balkan states. 6, super fortresses bomb Tokyo. 7, United States Navy crushes Japanese Grand Fleet. 8, Germans terrorize England with robot and rocket bombs. 9, Adolf Hitler narrowly escapes assassination. 10, Hartford circus fire shocks the nation. The year 1944 is a year to remember. A year that brought victory to the Allies, defeats to the enemy. A gigantic compilation of events witnessed and written into history by UP Soldiers of the Press. Like a gigantic army, they covered the 1944 battlefronts of the globe. Their only weapon, a typewriter, their single objective, to gather news. Correspondents on the European front like Henry Gorel, Richard Macmillan, Virgil Pinkley, Edward Murray, Joseph Grigg. Men in the Pacific like Frank Hewlett, Mac Johnson, Ralph Teetzorth, William B. Dickinson, William Tyree, the Soldiers of the Press. The month was June. The fatal hour was approaching when a high officer in the United States Expeditionary Force in England told United Press correspondent Richard Macmillan,
"Macmillan, you're about to write the biggest headline in military history. Be ready for any eventuality."
Flash, Supreme Allied Expeditionary Command. Under the command of General Eisenhower, Allied naval forces, supported by strong air forces, began landing operations this morning on the northern coast of France.
All right, men. We may be from the USA, but the next stop is Paris. Come on, let's take those heinies.
The Soldiers of the Press followed in the footsteps of those gallant doughboys. UP man Richard Macmillan was there on the blood-stained beaches of Normandy as the greatest military operation in history began. You all know the story, how we breached the enemy defenses, captured Cherbourg, overran Normandy, landed fresh troops in southern France, consolidated our forces. And then, the desperate Germans struck back at our supplies in England with a new and terrible weapon. The robot bomb.
Attention, Englanders. We warn you, our rocket planes will cause wholesale destruction of such dimensions that the Americans will be forced to stop bombing our European targets in order to protect their own supplies. Try and stop us!
Edward Murray of United Press watched the English take up the challenge with a relentless bombardment of the rocket launching platforms along the French Channel coast. Murray himself narrowly escaped death while riding on a bus when a robot bomb droned through the sky somewhere in southern England.
It's one of them things! It's heading this way! It's flying to hit us!
Here! Stop the bus! Let me out! Stop the bus!
Listen, it stopped. You know what that means?
Blimey, it'll go off in 15 seconds. Oh,
15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The soldiers of the press marched on through 1944. They saw the Allies smash the robot bomb attack, saw the English and Americans prepare for the breakthrough to Paris, saw the Russians thunder across the eastern plains, stampeding the Germans into disorderly retreat. Then, one day, from United Press correspondent Harrison Salisbury,
Red Army smashes into Baltic and Balkan states.
Igor, it is good riding in Romania.
Yes, Anton. Much better than Bulgaria, huh? But I hear the roads are even straighter and smoother in Germany.
It will be better for my horse. He tires so quickly.
the stage was set. Russia to the east, America and England to the south and west. Events began to shape themselves, and the hour drew nigh for the next Anglo-American blow. United Press correspondent Henry Gorell was there when
Americans break out of Normandy on the plains of Brittany.
Men, they call us the Ghost Army, and our next assignment is to haunt Paris. Give them hell!
Americans capture Saint-Lô. Patton's Ghost Army driving toward Paris unchecked. German lines crumbling. Americans destroy German 7th Army. Paris liberated!
How you like riding in Jeep, mademoiselle?
Oh, la la!
You and me both, Phoebe. Brother, it was never like this in Mississippi.
the soldiers of the press marched on through 1944. The enemy was falling back everywhere. Some of the German generals, desperate, began to look for a way out. But what? Their answer involved a startling new twist to the war, the attempted elimination of one man from the German scene, a man who called himself no ordinary mortal, a man who set out to reshape the destiny of Europe. United Press correspondent Joseph Grigg, as a UP correspondent in Berlin before the war, knew this man, knew him as the most dangerous and one of the shrewdest political gangsters in existence. Grigg was not surprised one day when the news was flashed to the world.
People of the Third Reich, a small group of dismissed officers has made a low attempt on the life of our Fuhrer at his headquarters. But they failed. The Fuhrer is alive. In order to discredit his enemies and the enemies of Germany, he will personally address you now.
People of Germany, this is your Führer. The conspiracy against me had nothing to do with the German armed forces, and particularly nothing with the German army. Our worry at the moment is not your Führer, but his enemies. Revenge is the watchword. Purge the country of our enemies. Kill them! Kill them! Kill them!
The fate of Europe was taking shape. It was a matter of time. But in the Pacific, the Americans were fighting another kind of battle, the battle over the long, tortuous road to Tokyo. We were winning in the Pacific, yes. But it was a race against time, for in spite of his defeats, the Jap was consolidating his stolen gains. UP correspondents Frank Hewlett, Mac Johnson, Ralph Teetsorth, William Tyree, and others knew that we were massing our forces for the heaviest blow yet. The blow fell with startling suddenness.
American forces invade Leyte Island in the Philippines. United States Navy crushes Japanese Grand Fleet in Battle of the Philippine Sea. 2 enemy battleships sunk, 4 carriers sunk, 6 heavy cruisers, 6 light cruisers, 6 destroyers sunk.
It was a great victory for our fleet. But we must remember that the Japanese Navy can still be troublesome, though it is no longer the threat it once was to our conquest of the Philippines and to our plans to land on the mainland of China for the final assault upon Japan.
The soldiers of the press marched on through 1944. Those 2 mighty blows had left the enemy on the ropes, but there still remained one more to be delivered before the curtain rang down on 1944. United Press correspondent Mac Johnson was on the island of Saipan to take part in that final drama. His mission and the mission of his companions was a military secret, but once the objective was reached, Johnson returned to Saipan and flashed the news hours ahead of all other correspondents.
Super fortresses bomb Tokyo.
The soldiers of the press march on today. March on through 1945 and perhaps what may be the year of decision. That is not for us to answer. But one thing is certain. The soldiers of the press will be there in the thick of battle, ready to flash you the news whenever and wherever it occurs.
The soldiers of the press are braving gunfire and hardships, death or capture, to bring you eyewitness stories from every battlefront. We will bring you another thrilling story of these gallant men soon. Be sure to listen. And remember to listen to United Press News on the air. Look for United Press dispatches in your favorite newspaper. They are your guarantee of the world's best coverage of the world's biggest news.